Alright, so while the 17 to 40 is much more catered towards nature and photography that way in video, I wanted to see if the 24 to 105 would be able to keep up with all the extra stuff that is packed into this, including the IS and then all the wonderful glass and everything that they have in here to make up for video shooting of nature and any other type that way. Not so much on photography, but the video side of it. And what I've come up with is, no, it does not. It does not keep up with how well the wide angle performs in the nature and everything. And you're able to put so much more into the frame with the 17 to 40 millimeter than the 24 to 105. And even with the stabilization in there, it just doesn't quite make it as good a lens. And I found that how heavy the lens is actually counterbalances having the IS in it, whereas this one, since it's a little bit lighter of a lens, the center of gravity goes from way in the front to a little bit more further back. That's why when I'm shooting with like a pancake lens, it seems so much more stable because it's easier to hold the camera stable, while the center of gravity is back in, with a lighter lens. And these things are heavy, and carrying it around, especially when it's around your neck for an entire day, you definitely feel the almost pound difference in the gear that's there. And so overall, just the ability to have the super wide angle and having it be lighter, and then actually the advantages as well to having the 17 to 40 millimeter is it allows me to vlog effectively, because there's so much more space that this thing captures, whereas if I had a 24 being the widest I could go, yeah, it's like all right for portraits and stuff like that, and yeah, you can get wide enough shots, but when I only have my arm length, it would fill right up in here, and I'm able to manipulate the environment a little bit more. So like getting closer to something, I can make it look so much bigger and how it actually feels. So for example, this tree right here feels huge, however in reality it's actually not that big. So I can make things look much larger than they appear and make things feel like they're much more three-dimensional with this lens than I can with the 24 to 105. And the setup here, the 17 to 40, I feel actually has much stabler looking footage than the 24 to 105, simply because it's so much wider and it's a little bit lighter to carry, and that makes it just easier to maneuver. And even with the better IS, and the IS on the kit lens just doesn't compensate for having a heavier and more shaky and more narrow point of view. As well, the cost difference for this one, I picked this one up for $350, whereas this one will cost you, secondhand you could pick it up for like $800 now, I think. And that's a huge difference, and for nature photography, this thing also works very well. It's not nearly as sharp as what I would like it to be for shooting images, whereas this one is incredibly sharp. But if I'm just going to be shooting videos out here in the nature, which is what I prefer to do, I feel like there's so many photos of awesome nature and scenery that video is a lot more, interesting. So to wrap it up, the nature video lens and video in general that I'm using is the 17 to 40, and I'm shooting on the M50 here. This one is starting to not be used nearly as much as I would like to, and it's probably going to go outside my kit. I'm probably going to sell it soon as well. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop them down in the comment section below.